go.
And
hello and welcome to another episode of BZG's Talking Shit. My name is Barrett Courtney, and here joined with me are my great co-hosts and even better friends, Henry Montiero and Ricky Baldazan. And here at Talking Shit, if you don't know, what we like to do here is one of us brings in a topic of discussion and we talk some shit about it. And this week, we only had two topics this week, and that's because one of them we broke into two parts, and that is top 10 favorite albums of all time. If you haven't noticed, we've been doing this a lot lately. It's because we want you to know where we come from when we talk about music, when we talk about video games and all that good stuff.
For example, he comes from Ohio.
For example, I come from Ohio. So, yeah, we did video games, we did movies, and now we're doing albums. We love music, and we want to share our love for music with you. So today, we are doing our top 5 through 1, and then some honorable mentions before we do number 1. We're doing like the Watch Mojo format where they do 10 through 2, and then they're like, oh, here's some honorable mentions that don't deserve to be here, and then they do one.
yeah.
So, Ricky, I'm going to start with you. What is your 5th favorite album of all time?
I'm starting off pretty strong.
You're starting off pretty strong for this half of the episode.
My last 5 from the last video I wasn't so sure about, but this is my top 5.
I'm the same way. Like, these are definitely my top 5. The other 5 will probably change.
I'm changing them as we're going through this for my last 5, but this is never going to change. Number 5, My Chemical Romance's Black Parade.
Wow. See, I almost put this on my list. I was very close.
I almost didn't, but I was finally like, you know what? This is It's a phenomenal album. I can find some people that hate this music and hate My Chemical Romance, but when it comes to Black Parade, I don't know one person that fucking hates this album. Tasha's mom likes this album.
I still remember the first time I listened to it when I was a young boy.
It's flawless. I love this.
I'm surprised this made it on.
I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised. I put them on my list at 1 a.m.
That's probably why it's on your list.
Which is when you say you like My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
It's such a solid album. It got me through some of the most crazy shit that happened to me.
It came out in our middle school times, and those were the best times to have the depressing music.
Oh yeah. But I can't explain enough how great of a songwriter Gerard Way is.
Oh yeah, his new solo album is super different, but he's still fucking kicking ass.
That dude's fucking talented.
You ever read Umbrella Academy?
And not to put,
No, I haven't.
Umbrella Academy.
It's like his comic.
And not
my dad loves it.
And again, talking highly of Gerard Way, but not to put down all the other members.
They're all phenomenal. Except the drummer. They're changing drummers every fucking year. So
they do drummers like the Misfits do drummers. It's just like come back, come back. Especially that fucking lead guitarist, curly-haired dude.
Oh, yeah. No one knows his fucking name, but he is so
fucking
good.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised you're not fucking just skyrocketing.
I'm surprised he's not in, like, another huge fucking band right now.
Like, he's right now, he's probably doing, like, kid shows. Just fucking...
No, I just imagine him, like, hello, little children.
He's on the John Wayne Gacy show.
Moo.
And the cow goes moo.
But yeah, definitely there's no way. I finally decided, like, there's no way this wouldn't be on my top 10 list. This is definitely there.
I highly agree.
And that's it.
Alright, cool. Henry, what's your number 5? Fuck me?
My number 5's the Blue Album by Weezer.
God damn it. We started off strong. We started off so strong, and then you had to come in with this Weezer bullshit. God damn it.
The first Weezer album is so good. Shut your mouth.
No, it's good compared to the other Weezer albums because they're all so terrible.
Do you not realize what Weezer really is? Do you like The Who? Do you like Cheap Trick?
No.
Who doesn't like Cheap Trick?
I don't like The Who either.
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with you people? Weezer's great. Their first album.
They are great. And I understand why they're on your list. I know, I get it. But we started off so strong.
No,
my number 5 is Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
But all joking aside, Henry, why do you like this album?
I love this album because I'm a nerd.
Yep.
And nerds love Weezer.
Yep.
Because they're like the only band from the 90s nerds can identify with.
Because it was all about... Their whole thing was they could be guys who weren't in a band.
Yeah. Like, when I think about them, I think about what Rivers Cuomo once said, where it's like, so Jane's Addiction comes out with nothing shocking, and it's like, nothing is shocking anymore, and what we wanted to do was be shocking by not being shocking. And, like, that's what I kind of like about Weezer.
His list frustrates me. This list is frustrating me.
Kanye West and Weezer.
It's Kanye West and Weezer.
It's such like a good rock album is the thing. Because I listen to this album and I'm like, yeah. How can you give me shit? You like Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World's a phenomenal fucking... They're way
better.
the
same band.
No, they're not.
So is I think Weezer's like a great band, but...
I think Jimmy Eat World's way better.
But like... See, now I'm like kind of like... going away towards you two. I just don't like both of you right now. I just really don't.
Hey, come on, Ricky.
Jimmy Eat World?
It just takes some time. I
don't like... Okay, Jimmy Eat World is a great band.
Clarity.
I don't like them because my dad loves them.
That's weird.
Yeah, my dad loves Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World isn't a dad band.
Yeah, it's
my dad's not a dad either. He lives in Florida.
All right. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I love Weezer.
Okay. My number 5. I'm starting off really strong here.
Are you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think my number 5 is stronger than all y'all fucking shit put together.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
The Velvet Underground Loaded.
Okay, I'm just saying
Sweet
this.
Jane.
I love this album. It's my favorite Velvet Underground album, but it's not on my list because I knew it was going to be on your list.
What the hell are you doing?
It's the best Velvet Underground album.
It's a great fucking album.
I mean, it's their most solid. Of course, Henry disagrees with me. That's well known.
Because Velvet Underground.
You like just the Velvet Underground.
Because if you close
the door.
But this is like, Loaded was the first. Specifically, the song "Rock and Roll" was the first song I ever remember listening to in my dad's car, and just thinking, oh. My dad doesn't listen to boring music all the time. It's pretty sick. That was like one of my first memories, basically. It was like listening to that in this car one day. And fuck, it's just so good. Like just like the beginning 3 or 4 tracks, man. Like it goes from Who Loves the Sun into Sweet Jane and Rock and Roll and then Cool It Down. The one, again, each of these albums for some reason have like the one song that isn't that great. The one song for this album is
Lonesome Cowboy.
New Age. I really don't like New Age.
I don't either.
I think it's my least
genre. I hate Enya.
I think it's my least favorite Velvet Underground song, which is weird because it's my favorite Velvet Underground album. Yeah, Head Held High, Lonesome Cowboy Bill, I Found a Reason. I fucking love I Found a Reason. It's such a great sort of love song.
I actually first heard the Cat Power cover of that.
Again, the thing with Velvet Underground is like they're such. I think they're on a different category than any of the things on my top 10 list can be.
Yeah,
they're along the lines as the people in my, like 2 of the people in my honorable mentions, where they're on such a different category of like royalty that I couldn't find the power to put them on a top 10 list. Like they're something else.
It's just, and the reason why I love Loaded so much is just because like. Velvet Underground, Nico and White Light, White Heat were just sort of like when they're in their avant-garde sort of weird shit with, what's his face, who's the artist?
Andy Warhol?
Andy Warhol and all that stuff.
And back when they had John Cale? Yeah,
and then like Velvet Underground, like self-titled was, okay, it was very like relaxed. And it was
except for the murder mystery.
Exactly, except for the murder mystery, which was very going back to like sort of their avant-garde sort of style. But everything else is just sort of like more relaxed. It's like them cooling down. But then Loaded is like the perfect like combination of like some guitar parts you can just listen to. It's just fucking chill, and you feel like that's like a really great like almost like in a way where, especially in Sweet Jane, where that guitar part almost feels like a drum beat at one point where you're just like fuck yeah, and you can like jam to it. But then like it also can get crazy and wild, like the first Velvet Underground album with Nico, like in Rock and Roll, like that ending where they're just fucking going crazy and shit.
Yeah, Loaded opens up.
Loaded felt like they finally became a band.
Yeah.
And it's sad that they all left each other during the recording of Loaded.
Are you saying Squeeze isn't their best?
But the fuck out of my house.
I love Squeeze is so terrible.
Loaded is one of those albums where it can open up like the deepest, like happiest moments in my life. Like that was the first Velvet Underground and like including Lou Reed music that my dad ever showed me. It was the first one of their albums that I bought.
Yep.
It was the first CD that me and Tasia sat down and listened to when I went to go see her. It was like, it's a great, solid fucking album. It's fucking beautiful.
All right, moving on.
All right.
Number 4, Ricky.
Number 4. Okay, so I knew he was going to be in my number 4. I knew no matter what he was going to be in my top 10, and I knew already that he was going to be my number 4. I just didn't know what fucking album I was going to put on here. I had the hardest time picking an album for him. But I think if I was going to do it, I was going to pick the strongest one. Maybe not the most well-known one, but it had the best front to back solid fucking album no matter what.
Weezer.
It's the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are You Experienced?
Okay.
I think it's
if you can just.
I think it's his more solid one. I love the album as a whole. I love Electric Landlady or Lady Land.
Landlady.
Landlady.
That was
dyslexic.
That was actually like one.
I think Electric Ladyland is my favorite.
I know it's your favorite.
Out of the 3.
And that's another reason why I picked Are You Experienced, because I knew you were going to have Electric Ladyland, and I knew you were going to say what you had to say and we'd talk about it.
I always liked Access Bold as Love.
It's actually not on my top 10.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
I always liked Access Bold as Love, except for Lomas Lover, which gives me a panic attack.
And then Access Bold as Love like is good, but in another sense of it.
Yep.
And then I love Band of Gypsies. I fucking love it. I love their self-titled. But if I was going to pick one, Are You Experienced?
Yep.
Great, beautiful fucking album. Jimi Hendrix is like, I hold him fucking dear to me. He's amazing fucking musician. But yeah, solid number 4 for me.
All right, cool. Henry, you're number 4.
Who's your favorite president?
President Garfield. Because I love lasagna.
That's so meta.
It's so fucking
We suggest you watch Smiley Face at one point or another. Who's my favorite president? Lincoln?
By They Might Be Giants.
Oh! I see where you're going.
You knew this band was going to be on here.
I thought it was going to make your honorable mentions. I didn't know it was going to be on the actual top 10.
I didn't know it was going to be on yours. I thought it was going to be on his.
I love They Might Be Giants. They're like the most nostalgic band for me. Like, there are bands that I got into before I really started listening to They Might Be Giants. The first band I can remember being like, I love this band was Gorillaz, who aren't on my list.
Yeah.
Which surprised me.
Feel good.
Maybe on my honorable mentions, once I think about it a bit.
Well, no, you already did your honorable mentions, and that's all you can do.
I didn't actually write
so
it down.
whatever I have as my honorable mentions right now, that's what it has
to
be. Okay. Like no matter what.
Cut off.
No matter what. Not even if you don't like how many are on here.
You can only do 3, that's the thing.
Okay.
But like I knew there had to be a They Might Be Giants album on my list, and I knew this would have to be it because I like Flood.
Yeah, Flood's good.
But it's a little.
But it also has Birdhouse in Your Soul, which is like one of those songs where like I like it.
I can't.
But it was way
anymore.
overplayed. Yeah, it's like American Idiot by Green Day, where it's like it was a good song for what it was, but I'm done.
And I loved like their first album, Apollo 18, but Lincoln is where They Might Be Giants perfected their They Might Be Giantsness.
Yeah, I understand what you. I actually understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, because it was like the first time where they were like, "Hey, we write quirky songs. We write quirky 3-minute songs with accordion parts, and then the second half of our album is nothing but 1-minute long songs that will be stuck in your head forever." Like right now, in my head, I can't actually get most of these words out because I'm just hearing Shoehorn with Teeth in my head.
Nice.
That song's been stuck in my head for years. Triple income.
Triple income.
But it's like, I love They Might Be Giants. They're just like such a fun, quirky band.
They are.
Without ever being, like, burdeningly quirky in a way. Like, sometimes Cake is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Tool.
They're authentically quirky, you know. It's like we're Cake. It's just like you guys are trying like way too fucking hard to be. They Might Be Giants. You know?
Yeah, they're the genre that I made up called hat rock, which is bands that
wear hats.
Where their fans also define themselves by the kind of hat they wear. So stuff like Cake or Primus.
Yeah,
because Primus fans are always like, "Look at my hat."
Primus is dope as fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, They Might Be Giants. If you don't like that, you can stand on your head.
My number 4, moving on.
Smash Mouth.
It's if you watch both of our parts, you notice that a lot of my 10 through 6 was a lot of sort of modern pop punk rock and then like one classic rock album. Yeah. It's the very opposite, where it's a lot of classic stuff this time around, but only one album in the modern world. And this is my favorite band that has come out of this generation. And this is their best album, without a doubt.
Oh, I know.
Suburbia, I've Given You All, Now I'm Nothing by the Wonder Years. Yep. Now you might be asking me, Barry, you love Greatest Generation so much. Why isn't that? Great album. Not as good as Suburbia. Suburbia came out in a time where I needed it the most, where I was going through a lot of fucked up stuff and putting a lot of the blame on myself. And the writer Dan Campbell definitely knew, like, it's almost like he knew what I was going through and just, like, wrote it. He's like, I know how to write, so I'm going to do it.
Barrett, move my hand.
Jesus, take the wheel.
You're going to like Greatest Generation more when Jesus Christ, you're 26, all the people you've graduated with all have kids, all have wives, all have people who care if you live or die.
Damn.
So Jesus Christ.
Come Home at Night.
Oh, damn, tell him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't need telling. You know I'm going to school you and Wonder Years lyrics.
Oh, yeah?
But
Fred Savage.
But it's just that opening of, like, Came Out Swinging is just, like, fucking, like, a punch in the face of just, this is what this album is about. It's about not feeling like you belong anywhere, feeling like this empty sort of emotionless self of yours. And, like, that's what I was going through that time, where, like, I didn't feel happy, I didn't feel sad. I was just, like, I was going through my life, like, not knowing what was going on.
Right.
But by the end of that, like, listening to that album for the first time, by the end of it, I was just like, fuck, like, this album, like, woke me up in a couple of ways of...
Can't wake up. Wake me up inside.
God damn it, Henry, leave.
My number one, Fallen by Evanescence.
God damn it. But, so great. And I remember how I got you into the Wonder Years was the Living Room song, which is like a B-side to that album. Yeah, and like once you listen to that song, you're like, oh, I like these guys. And then you started listening to them, and you're like, fuck, this is so sad.
Because like Living Room song is like, oh, like it's kind of like feel good in a way. It's
like it's
really
sort of
happy.
Sad, like it's sort of like about the end of the world, but it's still like...
The thing was, like, it got stuck in my fucking head, like nobody's business. And then after a while, like after weeks of it being in my head, I finally like, this is a really good fucking song. And then I started downloading their stuff, and then I cried for like the rest of the week, just bawling.
You didn't know.
They're so relevant, it's not even funny.
Yeah. I feel like such an asshole, because the only song that's ever made me cry is The Scientist by Coldplay. I'm a pussy.
Like, I feel like the way he writes his music, and especially, not so much the upsides, but definitely Suburbia and The Greatest Generation, like, teenagers will always be able to relate to those albums. It's almost timeless in a way, like, obviously not like as great or as important as like stuff like Morrissey has written, but it's like almost like it's not a thing of its time. These albums will definitely go on and be appreciated in the future.
Morrissey has a connection to people in the same way that Wonder Years does, but for a completely different generation. But it's
But Morrissey is still like appreciated and stuff. He hasn't been forgotten.
Yeah.
And I don't think
I want to touch his hair.
I don't think the Wonder Years will be forgotten as well. I think that even though they only have like this sort of small following right now, like they will definitely be one of those bands later on.
Even like
in the timeline, like people will look back and
like
be like,
Joy Division.
Yeah, like people will look back and be like, shit, that guy was actually like a really good lyricist.
Yeah, even if they're just remembered within like the small following they have, it's enough for it to be like.
And it's not an honorable mention, and it's not on this list, but Dan Campbell's solo album, Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties. Last time I was in Cleveland, I got my dad to listen to that whole album, and he sat down and listened to the whole thing, and he fucking cried. That motherfucker hates all of the music I listen to that isn't from him. And Dan Campbell, the fact that you got my father to listen to your album and actually have water come out of his body, not from his penis, but from his eye holes.
That was the first time in your dad's life where he wasn't thinking about school and people and basketball.
He was just like, because he was showing me a lot of, I forget who he was having me listen to a lot of some other like sort of acoustic guy that night that
Dave Matthews.
No, it was I'll fucking remember his name right after we stopped recording.
My number one.
And then I was like, oh, this reminds me a lot of Aaron West, and he was like, oh, what's that bullshit? And I had him listen to it. He's like, holy fuck, this is really good.
Yeah,
this is so good. So that is my number 4.
And that's how you got your dad to actually listen to a Mountain Goat song in the roundabout way.
Yeah.
I love
Ricky, what is your number 3?
My number 3 can only be described by the words of the amazing Henry Rollins. This song makes you want to punch someone and fuck at the same time. And it's fucking Funhouse by the Stooges.
Yeah!
This song makes me feel... This album makes me feel every fucking emotion at the same time. I want to like just have sex and beat the shit out of someone at the same time.
So you want to be in a Gwar show?
So you want to be an SLC punk?
I want to cry. I want to bang my head against the wall. I want to do heroin. I want to fucking like shoot the president. I want to do all of these like.
I want to eat a man.
I want to go into a church.
We don't actually want to do those things. He's just speaking like
eat a man.
I want to go into a church and just be like, I am you. You are me. We are life.
I'm scared.
And then just dunk my head in the holy water and walk away. This album is fucking amazing.
Who is this again?
My number 3.
Iggy Pop and the Stooges.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun house.
Okay.
Did I say the name?
Yeah, you did.
Or was I just?
I just forgot because we were just going off on this thing.
This is just the Stooges.
Yeah, this is just the Stooges. It's a great.
Henry, you're number 3.
Henry,
how do I follow that?
Just say it.
Okay. My number 3 is
Weezer.
Just really timidly like, it's another Weezer album. Please don't hurt me, Jesus. Please don't hurt me, Henry Rollins. Ah! My number 3 is the most acclaimed album of all time.
Sgt. Pepper's.
According to RateYourMusic.com. This album is, I will say it, this album is legitimate perfection. And you're going to want to punch me in the face for saying it. He's getting ready.
Just get it out.
My number 3 is OK Computer by Radiohead. Have either of you two ever listened to this album?
I have.
I don't want to be associated with this.
Why are you dissing on this album? It's perfection.
No. I only know 2 people who would put this album on their list, and it's Henry and Tasia's dad.
I am her dad.
Tasia's dad keeps a Radiohead album on his nightstand. Like a Bible.
I'm keeping my face off screen until...
I have like 4 copies of this album.
Oh my god. Until we're done talking about this album. Keep talking. Talk about why you like it.
Everyone is gone. Everyone's left.
Talk about why you like this album.
I'm so alone. I love this album because I like Radiohead. As I've already said, I'm a pretentious shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'm getting hairier as this review goes on. But this is just like... I think of this as a perfect album because... I think this perfectly sums up what Radiohead is about, and it perfectly encapsulates their sound, and your dick is really close to my arm. That's my review of this. Your dick is near my arm. 10 out of 10.
Continue.
And it's just like, this is the album where Tom York was just like, I have actual good ideas instead of just throwing things at walls.
Okay.
And I'm going to actually write good songs. And to me, like, this is one of those albums where I can just listen. Like, these top 3 albums are like the only albums I can listen to, or I can just listen to them straight through, constantly.
This is when the song...
Can I fucking help you?
This is when the song, like, How Many People Want to Kick Some Ass starts playing, and we just start beating up Henry.
7 likes Radiohead, too.
Oh, my God. We need to get out of here.
Welcome to the nightmare zone.
I do respect your decision, but I also disagree. But I love you anyway.
And you put pop punk at your number 4.
I know.
What's your number 4?
Yeah. No, my number 3. We're on 3 right now.
Oh, what's your number 4?
If I disagree with this...
I had to stay with what I said.
I'd be very surprised if you disagree with my number 3 because it's a fucking amazing album. It's this artist's
Fallen by Evanescence.
best work of all time, I believe. A lot of people would disagree with me. I think my dad would even disagree with me. Transformer by Lou Reed. My number 3. I think it's even compared to the Velvet Underground albums, I think this is Lou Reed's best
Perfect
album.
Day, more like Perfect Album.
Oh, exactly. And even looking at this album, like, a lot of the albums I've been talking about, there's always, like, one song that I'm not really into. This album all the way through, it's just fucking awesome. Vicious. Life. Andy's Chest. Life. Perfect Day. Singing with the 2 of you in my car. Life. That's all I can say.
Hey.
Transformer by Lou Reed.
Man, that's a pretty predictable chance. I guess you're not going to walk on the wild side.
Nah, you're funny.
Satellite of love, satellite.
And like, I'm So Free, such a great song. Oh, even Seven approves. He's like, yeah.
That's one of the first songs I ever covered with.
Oh, nice. It's so great. It's so good. So good, Ricky. You don't understand.
You know why I'm not talking about it.
I know you're not.
You know why
Next album.
Ricky, what is your number 2?
Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Okay.
I'm just going to give the devil horns for this whole time.
This album started everything.
Everything.
Everything
I'm pretty
important.
Sure.
Listen,
I'm
Black
pretty
Sabbath made harmonic.
Listen, boy. You don't understand.
Black Sabbath made
This
harmonical cool with this album.
This album is why Hulk Hogan's Hulk Hogan. This album is why religion is stupid.
Why are you the Ultimate Warrior all of a sudden?
No.
I'm just going to keep this up.
This was another one that was like, it's really hard for me to pick which. I knew Black Sabbath was going to be my number 2. I didn't know which Black Sabbath album was going to be my number 2. I was thinking like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Master of Reality, Paranoid, all fucking amazing albums. No. All amazing albums.
Wait, you have a problem with red pants?
But if I was going to pick one, I was going to pick the first one, the one that started it all, and the one with my favorite song on it, and it's perfection. All the way through, I love this album.
What's the song that you like?
NIB?
NIB.
Okay.
Just because fucking I'm a bassist, fucking Geezer's intro is just like it's a great album.
Alright.
That's all that has to be said.
Some people say my love cannot be true.
Okay, Henry. Moving on.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, no. That's all that needs to be said. I could have just said the
Your
title.
number 2.
I've been debating whether this should be my number 2 or my number 1, and eventually I decided it's my number 2 because my number 1 has such a connection to me. And I'm going to say, this album is my number 2, but for some reason it's an album I have no emotional connection to. I just love it. Which is really weird to say.
But yeah, what is
I
it?
feel like that's kind of like what it is for the most part with the Beatles. Like, this is really great. I can't really connect to it at this point in my life because so many other people have this connection to it. But my number 2 is Sound of Silver by LCD Sound System.
Interesting.
Because
I've been surprised so far. We've known a lot what Henry's been talking about,
Like,
but this is the first time where we're just like,
Like
Who?
Like I've guessed one or two that were on your list, and the rest of them are like I understand.
It's stuff that you know.
Yeah.
But like I imagine Henry's whole list being artists that we just had no fucking clue about.
But you knew like almost all of them.
Yeah, we've known almost all of them. So LCD,
like my whole list is just like my number 3 is Tony Danza tap dancing extravaganza.
Like this one, I'm just like, what?
Okay,
Ooh.
Continue.
LCD Sound System. You may have heard one of their songs. Probably not. I mean, the guy James Murphy produced. He produced the newest Arcade Fire album, which I did not like. Have you heard the song Daft Punk is playing at my house?
No.
Well, I'm just shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Anyway, he made an album called Sound of Silver in 2007, and I will say that this is the first time I've heard an electronic album that had heart to it.
Interesting.
Because what James Murphy did with this album is that he took all the bullshit that's in electronic music, like it's a party atmosphere with no heart, and music needs heart in it.
Yep.
That's why old soul music holds up so well, because it's all about the soul.
Yep.
That's the gayest thing I've ever said. It's about the soul, man.
Yep.
But he took that, like he made electronic music, and just made it like the most heart-rending thing ever. There's a song on there called All My Friends.
Are metalheads?
Shut up. All My Friends. Where the first minute and like 28 seconds, besides like adding in some drum lines, is just a piano part going dun 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 dun. And it turns into the saddest song I've ever heard.
So you're not fist pumping to it?
No.
Okay.
Because it's just emotionally, it tears you apart. And then, like, the song right before it, Someone Great, is even better. Because that song, it takes almost 2 minutes to fully build up.
Yeah.
And then it just tears you apart. And there are some party songs on there, too. Like this song called Watch the Tapes. And I'm probably going to have to make you two listen to this at some point, aren't I?
I want to listen to it just so I like understand.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just like I'm stumped. I'm just like I don't relate enough to the genre, so I'm just like like cool for you, but I can't.
I adore this album, and for a while it was my number 1 until I realized I had to have one band at number 1.
Oh yeah, and we all know that band, but we're not going to talk about them just yet. Moving on. We're going to talk about my number 2.
Me.
We're going to talk about me.
Barrett's number 2. Butt Cheeks by Ricky.
My second favorite album of all time.
I know it. I got it.
Follow the Leader by Korn.
Is
Freak on a Leash, just the song itself.
Especially like coming from a huge family just filled with like divorces and stuff. Like I've gone through almost like 2. Yeah. And this album is basically like a conversation of a couple divorcing.
Oh boy.
And it's always connected with me, and it's also like but also going through like a breakup on like a lesser level. But this album is specifically about divorce, but I also feel it when I've especially a certain relationship that ended with myself. Is Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He's such a dick. He's like, I mean, yeah. It's a great fucking album.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
And it was at the point where like everybody thought Dylan was just done for, and then he came out with this, and it's just so fun. Like when it came out, people were speculating, like, oh, this is about his divorce. And he's like, no, these are based off of, like, these songs are all based off of, like, paintings that, like, I wanted to make stories about. And we're all like, that's bullshit. You're lying.
But we still love you, Dylan.
But we still love you.
Marry me.
Like, Tangled Up in Blue, Simple Twist of Fate, You're a Big Girl, Idiot Wind, which is, like, one of my dad's favorite songs, is, it's a little more spiteful. It's not as sad, but, like, it's a little more, it's sort of, it's just like a big fuck you, or it's like you're a dumbass. Just stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
And Like, even Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts, which isn't, like, a sad song whatsoever, the way Dylan can add just, like, scenery in your mind. Just, like, I don't know how he does it, because a lot of other lyricists who try to do that just don't do it as well as him. And the imagery that, like, especially in that song, and, like, the story he's telling you in that song is just so fucking... You can see it, like, as he's talking about it. And it's just, like, it closes off with, like, Buckets of Rain. Which, like, there's no harmonica or anything. It's just him and this guitar, and it's just it's such a sweet song. It's just, like, such a great, like, lost love song, and it's just that whole album is about a lost love. And all right, Ricky, what are your honorable mentions? After I had that heartfelt.
Now I can't, like, go.
Yeah.
Say some stupid ass shit.
So I think like the hardest thing about this, like, whole listing has been the honorable mentions, because honorable mentions are just, like, the ones that, like, you're trying so hard to put them on your list.
But you just can't.
Like, I can't because I know these albums mean so much more to me.
Yeah.
Like, and are a bigger part of my life, but not that these aren't any lesser.
Yeah.
Jesus is a Friend of Mine by Sunseed.
And the first one, I don't know why I didn't put it on my list. I really don't. But it is it's a big album for me, and it's Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh.
I think it's, like, the hardest thing in my relationship with Tasia. She really hates him, but I have, like, this whole
but she also likes Pierce the Veil, so...
Yeah, so
I love Smashing Pumpkins.
But I really do love Smashing Pumpkins, and, like, this album through and through, like, I could listen to Forgive and, like, bawl my eyes out instantly, because that song just means something else to me.
I had an entire dream based around Tonight.
Yeah, like, it's just shit like that. Like, I get the weirdest stuff out of that album, but it's a great solid album.
It's like the opposite of all other 90s bands.
Yeah. Another one that was so weird that I didn't end up putting them on my list, but I didn't feel like it was, like, right. And the lead singer for this band is, like, one of the greatest men in the world. It's The Clash's London Calling, which I think is the most solid punk album in the world. But everything else, again, like, meant more to me than this.
Yeah,
I'd argue that's the best album of all time.
Really?
Just as a whole.
Right.
Like, it's perfect.
I think,
even if I don't like Wrong and Boyo, I think that's a pretty crappy song.
Yeah, same here.
I just think it's a perfect album.
It's such a good fucking album, and I would do anything to listen to Joe Strummer's. Is he the one crowing? That's him, right? In London Calling, his crow is, like, perfection. I love listening. That's, like, for some reason, it's the weirdest sound, but it brings pure happiness to me to listen to him do a Lost Boys crow.
Yeah.
Like, it's the greatest thing. And then my last one, it was hard for me to pick this last one, because I had two other ones in this list of, like...
Yeah, we only limited to 3 honorable mentions each.
There's 3 artists that I think are, like, in a different... Even though, like, we love Lou Reed so much, he's not in this category. But there's 3 artists that I believe that are, like, on a different level, that are godlike. And that's the Beatles, who aren't on my honorable mentions because of that.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan, because Bob Dylan's just an amazing person, I think.
Yeah.
As much hate as he gets, he's an amazing, one of the greatest songwriters.
He had a lot of hate when, like, he was in his stride.
Yeah.
You know, like, that is definitely all past.
I still know a lot of people that don't like him, but yeah.
Well, that's just, like, because his music isn't their thing,
right.
You know?
And his voice, especially now.
And then this next one, this next one is on that list, but I had to put him on here.
Yeah.
No matter what, like, I feel...
You had to give him a shout out.
I had to give him a shout out, even though he's not on my list. He is... I love this man, like, as much as I love Lou Reed. And it's... this is a twofer as well, because I couldn't pick between the albums. It's Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison and American 4. Because he's, if anything, the greatest songwriter in the fucking world. This man's a genius.
Johnny Cash is my hero, and he always has been.
He's a fucking genius. Like, it's the weirdest thing, because I'm not that into the genre, but for some reason, like, Johnny Cash has always sticked with me. I love... He's relevant to the weirdest extent. Yeah. Like, he's gone through, like, every single different human emotion and has wrote in a song about it. and songs that have to do with every human emotion, and it's the craziest thing. I still can't believe that like he ended up being like one of like my favorite people in the like musicians in the world.
Yeah.
But he definitely is, and I believe that these two albums are. If there's somebody out there who hasn't given Johnny Cash a shot, listen to At Folsom Prison, because or American 4 being my favorite, and At Folsom Prison me thinking it's his greatest album.
I once knew a guy who was like, Johnny Cash sucks, and I almost decked him. And I feel like Johnny Cash would approve. He'd be like, yeah, punch that boy.
Yeah, and on top of him being like the most emotional person in the world, he's the hardcorest, most intense.
He makes Henry Rollins look like a pussy.
Exactly.
All right. Let's try to get through this.
My honorable
because we're almost at 3 hours, so I want to try to wrap it up in the next 20 minutes.
Right,
so.
yeah.
My honorable mentions. Number 1, Deja Entendu by Brand New.
High five.
Nice.
Because I just feel like this is like the perfect emo album.
Yep.
Because Brand New really understands emotion in a way that other emo bands around that time didn't.
Yeah.
Because you have like Fall Out Boy and All American Rejects where it's like, we're sad, but also
we have fun.
And Brand New is just like, everything I know is crashing down on my skull right now and I want to die in every direction.
It's sort of like, if you don't know who Brand New is, it's sort of like that picture set of the dog in like the fire and like in the place on fire. He's like, this is fine, and he like just slowly melts away.
Yeah.
Like that's what Brand New is.
To me, the Wonder Years are music for when you're angry at yourself in your room and you really want to like leave your house and leave your family behind, but for some reason you just can't.
Yeah.
Brand New is music for when you just want to just beat someone up because you hate yourself so much.
Yeah.
And then Japan Droids is music for when you just feel like running down a highway screaming at everyone.
Yeah.
And Cloud Nothings is when you burn down the rec center.
Okay.
My second honorable mentions is The Queen is Dead by the Smiths.
Nice.
He feels me.
Yeah, I understand.
I also feel it.
Morrissey is a beautiful human being, and I want to rub him.
It's funny, I didn't think about the Smiths that much doing this.
This is very weird.
But thank you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't mention them. Thank you for mentioning them.
Because I just feel like this album, like, I don't know, there's just something to the Smiths that makes them hold up perfectly. Like, they use the same setup as, like, bands like R.E.M., but R.E.M. still feels, like, distinctively, like, 80s in a way.
Yeah,
like, I love early R.E.M.
Yeah.
Everything Automatic for the People and After, I'm like,
Yeah.
Because then they were, like, full 90s, just, like, we're an emotional band.
Yeah.
But, like...
It's been a bad day. Please don't
I kind of like
take
that song,
picture.
though, even though I know it's not good.
What? That was in a movie. I feel like it was.
I don't know.
Might have not
I know
been.
Great Beyond was in The Man on the Moon.
We'll call your mom after this. And
Yeah, we'll just hit up my mom. Yo, what movie was Bad Day in?
But the Smiths made the perfect English sad boy record with this. Because
The Smiths are like the Beatles in like the emo genre, where like America was sort of hitting its stride in emo, and then the Smiths just came and knocked it out of the fucking park
yet again.
Yeah.
and that's like sort of like British people, like they totally stole that like from us, like they stole rock from us because we were like almost there, and then the Beatles were like, fuck you guys.
People from the UK usually, like, for some reason they know that extra element to add in there just to fucking blow that
It's
shit.
like the Everything Nice and the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, it's that, yeah.
But, like,
exactly.
Plus, I just want to mention,
It's perfect.
There Is a Light That Never Goes Out is pretty much the best, like, breakup song of all time, or love song. It's however you want to interpret it. That's what's great about Morrissey.
There's a Light That Never Goes Out is that love song that everyone wants to be their couple song, or their breakup song. They want to be connected to that, but most people don't.
Because they can't bring themselves to it.
Because they don't know Morrissey pain like Morrissey knows pain.
Morrissey pain.
And Morrissey pain.
Oh, I am a rose in a garden of brown. I hate the Chinese.
What's your third?
And my third...
Oh no. Oh no. The Triddler.
The Triddler. My third is... it's really hard for me to choose between two albums. But I feel like I'm gonna have to go with... I'm going to have to go with Dear Science by TV on the Radio.
Okay. That I accept.
That I totally accept as well.
Like, I just want to shout out TV on the Radio. Because I think they are the best band that has come out of the 2000s. Like, point blank, I am going to state that.
Okay.
Because I can think of no band that has done more with their time than TV on the Radio, just making quality music. Some people called me an idiot for saying this, but I feel like they're going to be our generation's Velvet Underground. Just for, like, how much they don't sound like any other band that's currently around.
Yeah.
Every band is going to take from them, and people are going to realize this band is so great, and
they're
everyone's
very
going
influential,
to buy
yeah.
And Dear Science is
they're definitely going to be underappreciated this generation, and then they'll be refound in like 10 to 20 years.
So I just want to say, TV on the Radio, great.
They're hella dope. Check out that album.
Check out all their
albums. We're moving on because we got to wrap up soon. My three are all very different from each other. I actually really like my 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Because you guys are going to be very surprised.
Am I?
Oh, yeah.
Am I?
Oh, yeah. I'll start with the one that you're just going to be like, what?
Okay.
Sound of Silver.
Lord's Pure Heroin is an honorable mention of mine. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Fight me.
Continue. Just
I want to hear you.
Lord is the one pop artist of this time that knows how to fucking write. Read her lyrics, motherfucker. Read her lyrics, then judge. Because she is actually a really good lyricist.
Can I have this as my ringtone?
You guys are actually pissing me off with your reaction. Because have you listened to the whole fucking album, motherfucker?
I haven't. I've listened to most
of
it.
Yeah, he can judge.
But I've listened to most of it. Like, I understand the album. To be honest, I'm being kind of a dick.
Yeah.
It's
not like... And here's the whole thing that South Park's making fun of with the whole Lord shit.
Lord, I am Lord.
It's overproduced in the way, like, not because of her voice, but because that style of music is definitely not something that she would do. She's very smart in marketing a sound that's very marketable and a sound she knows is popular to get the stuff that she wants to talk about out there.
Right.
So, just gotta shout that out.
Lord's great. I love her.
Exactly.
Also, she's younger than me, so I hate her for that.
Only by a couple months, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are around the same age.
Which means the chances
Fight
there.
me. Fight me, motherfucker.
I hate the album, but if you say it's good, if you say
I think it's
lyrically, songwriting, I'll believe you and I'll check it out.
I don't connect with any pop artist at all. But this was the one pop artist where I actually, like, listened. I was like, oh, shit.
What was that about us finishing in 20 minutes?
All right.
Okay. My other two, I have to look up the actual album title. Because I just wrote down the band, so I forgot the...
Oh.
Follow the Leader by Korn.
Moose Bloods, I'll keep you in mind from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
The Hotelier is much like R.E.M., and Moose Blood is much like early Jimmy Eat World. These are two bands that are sort of bringing back, like, the emo scene. So that's all I have to say. Check that shit out.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm only putting on it because I've been listening to it a lot recently. And, again, I usually don't do that with a lot of modern bands. So if you can do that to me, like, awesome.
It's good.
And my third honorable mention, The Spine by They Might Be Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the first album where I listened to They Might Be Giants, like, all the way through. And it was just fucking awesome. And yeah, you got, like, experimental film. And the reason I got into They Might Be Giants is because
Runner.
I was into Homestar Runner because of my dad.
Give me some Twiddly Widdly.
And I knew They Might Be Giants was
We're
a
now
thing.
married.
I knew They Might Be Giants was a thing before I started watching Homestar Runner. But I never got into them until, like, they did that music video. And I actually listened to the song. I was like, oh, this is really cool. But, like, besides that song, you've got, like, Prevenge and Thunderbird and It's Kicking In. Oh, so good. Damn Good Times. fucking awesome. Check that shit out.
I remember when you finally like got everything downloaded and how happy you were and how much we listened to that album on every drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. I think it's their best.
Ricky Baldazan, what is your number one album of all time? I already know what it is.
It's fucking Transformer by Lou Reed. This is the most amazing album ever made, front to back. It's my life.
Vicious. You hit me with a flower.
Does this album make you want to fucking punch someone?
This album makes me want to fuck someone I'm punching.
But I understand with Vicious, like, just the way that guitar part, like, flows and stuff, like, you just want to be, like, the fucking cool guy walking down the street with sunglasses, smoking a cigarette.
You want to be
like,
Lou Reed.
Like, you want to be Lou Reed, just like hella fucking cool.
There's, again, like I told them a couple of days ago, there's two artists that I'm starting my day with if I'm having a good day, and it's either Lou Reed or Slayer.
Yeah.
And if it's Lou Reed, I'm starting it off with Vicious.
Yeah.
Every fucking morning.
Oh yeah.
It's my childhood, it's my present, it's gonna be my future. Every
damn,
you start having all of these letters. You spell out, "I am Lord Voldemort."
I am Lord Voldemort.
Lord Voldemort is my past, my present.
I was at your beginning, and I will be at your end.
Calendar man.
It's a great fucking album. It has some of the greatest songs in the world. I'm trying to convince you that this is a good album you already know.
Oh, I already know.
Fucking Vicious, Satellite of Love, Perfect Day will make me cry any day.
Oh,
yeah. Everything on this fucking album.
All the way through is just fucking
This
awesome.
is Lou Reed. This was the fucking... This is what he left. He left this album behind for me.
Yeah.
He went, Ricky, here, take this and listen to it
before
with
he went back to his home world of nothing but Lou Reed's and David Bowie's.
Yeah.
like
Rick and Morty.
Like, and it's just like, hey,
all right,
David.
That's what we were talking about. I forgot.
I don't know about this, Lou. I don't know if this is a good
Anyway,
idea.
Shut up, Bowie. Just to wrap shit up, the greatest album of all time.
Hey, Bowie. Hey, Bowie.
I should have worn my shirt for this.
Yeah, dumbass.
I wore a shirt by a band you hate.
Henry, what is your number one?
On my list.
Yeah, Henry, what is your number one favorite album of all time?
Iggy Azalea, the new classic.
I knew it. All right, I know the band. I don't know which album it is though, because I'm not as familiar with them.
Now you know that this is my favorite band of all time.
Yeah,
and this will always be my favorite band. And I have already told myself, when I die, I want a copy of this album buried with me. So I can listen to it when I'm dead.
Okay.
But my number one album is the only album where I can say that if it wasn't for this album, I would not be the person I was, and I possibly would not be alive. This album is Tallahassee by the Mountain Goats.
Tallahassee. Okay. Nice.
This album means so much to me that I cannot imagine living in a world without it. And, like, music has, like, that power to you. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the most abstract form of, like, pop culture. Because it's like, what are you listening to? You're listening to vibrations countering each other. But like, it has such a powerful reaction to you. And this album gives me that reaction every time I listen to it. Every time I listen to it, I feel like I am exactly where this album is located. In a small house in Tallahassee with two married people who can't have kids and hate each other to the death. John Darnielle is the best lyricist of our generation. I would say that he has very little competition in best lyricist of all time. It would be like Dylan... Maybe Lou Reed.
I don't think Lou Reed's there.
No.
I think Lou Reed's close, but I don't think he's quite there.
Like, he just has such a powerful way with words that he can create, like, this emotional context for you with a few words. He can make the most ridiculous things sound incredible. Like, the fact that he has a whole song where the idea is that it's just this growing frustration that eventually leads to just going, why are there peacocks in the front yard? and make that such an emotional song shows how good he is at this. I think that this album is perfection, and I could listen to this album on repeat endlessly.
Okay.
And it is my number 1 album of all time.
Cool.
Now, what's yours, Puss Lord?
My number 1. You call me a puss lord? You're talking about crying about flamingos or shit?
Come on, Puss Lord.
You pussy.
My favorite album of all time is Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan.
Nerd.
This album is, again, I have a lot of albums on here where there's just one song that's not as good as the rest of the album. This song on this album is Rainy Day Woman, number 12 and 35.
That song sucks.
And here's but I think a lot of people misinterpret it because it's obviously like a lot of stoners think like, yeah, it's about weed, man. Everybody must get stoned. But you got to think about the time that this was written. And Dylan had went electric for these last 2 albums that he, for Bringing It All Back Home and Highway 61 Revisited.
How close was Highway 61 Revisited to being on your list?
Not close. No.
For me.
For you?
It's a great album.
I think it's one of his best, but it doesn't have as much resonance with me. Like, there are like 2 or 3 songs I really like on that album, and I like the rest of the songs, but there are 3 that really pull me, and the rest don't as much.
Right.
But Blonde on Blonde, like, for Rainy Day Woman, that he had just went electric, and a lot of people hated him for that, and I feel like the whole Everybody Must Get Stoned is about, like, public shaming and all of this stuff, and how he had just gone through that.
Well, yeah, Dylan's smarter than just writing a line like "Everybody must get stoned."
Yeah, like
it's about weed.
People like don't understand that Dylan would not waste an entire fucking song writing about marijuana.
Yeah.
He's not that he's not that petty.
Yeah.
Like Tom Petty.
He's much smarter than that. And my dad agrees with me that, like, when I was telling him about this, and this is the first conversation we had ever had about the interpretation of the song, he's like, I think the exact same thing, man. I'm like, exactly, because we're smart. But moving on from that, because even though it is interpreted, like, the wrong way most of the time, the song itself just isn't that great.
Yeah. No, because it's just like a honky-tonk.
Pledging My Time, really fucking awesome. But we get into the good stuff. Visions of Johanna is my favorite song of all time. Because... fuck, man. Fucking relationships are the worst thing ever. And this was just the song I went to. The same thing with, like, most of Blood on Tracks. The same, like, it's like one of the songs I went to when I went through, like, a really bad breakup in high school. And... there's just something about that song that, like, just made me think in a new way. What?
Huh?
What?
Oh,
what the fuck did you just say?
I said you were gonna cry. Go on.
Come on, cry.
And then, like, you go into, like... and then you go from that into, like... and the great thing about Visions of Johanna is, like, there's no chorus. But you feel like there's a chorus because of, like, the Visions of Johanna keep conquering my mind, or have conquered my mind and all this stuff. So he keeps going back to this idea, but there's... it's just so great. And then we go into One of Us Must Know, Sooner or Later. And the ending of that song utilizes the harmonica in such a great way. Like, the harmonica's fine. A lot of people hate the harmonica. I enjoy it. But that
Black
song...
Sabbath made it cool.
That song, he, like, knew how to have the harmonica fit well with the other instruments and... bring it all together and make all of the instruments just sound like one. And then I Want You is just another fucking sad song.
Your review of this whole album is just fuck.
Yeah, it's just fuck. And then Stuck Inside of a Mobile with the Memphis Blues again. Just such a great, just like, fuck.
It's a great fuck?
It's such a great fuck.
It's just like one of those cars where you can just like angrily listen to it. Like it's one of those great songs where you can angrily like listen to it in your car and just fucking speed down the road. Like it's just, just like Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat. Just like a bitter fucking song about like finding someone like cheating on you and all of this stuff, and it's just done like revealed in such a great way of how he talks about that.
The funny thing is that Death Grips has a whole song named after that song. And I just wanted to mention that because it's so funny to me.
And then Just Like a Woman,
just like a woman.
Another great just fucking love song, but also about like letting go and like not this whole album is so fucking good.
Oh fuck. There I did.
And then we got Most Likely You Go Your Way and I'll Go Mine, and then Fourth Time Around, which a lot of people say was the response, or shit, what's the first Beatles song where they used the sitar?
Norwegian Wood.
Norwegian Wood. A lot of people say Norwegian Wood was, or maybe this one. What came out first? I think this was a response to Norwegian Wood because there's a lot of similar writing and like how they're talking about this story of like whoever they're talking about. There's a lot of similarities, but then and obviously Five Believers is also like a good song. It's not as bad as Rainy Day Woman, but it's also just not like something that pops out. But man, Sad Eye Lady of the Lowlands, I don't think I have enjoyed an 11 minutes as much as that song. And that's all I have to say, and that's all we have to say about our favorite albums of all time. And thank you for joining us so much. This was fun.
I liked it.
This might be one of our last lists, top lists. We might do TV shows at one point. I still have to make up my mind of whether we want to do that or not.
Top 10 venereal diseases.
Okay. And thank you for joining us for Talking Shit again. This 2 of the videos this week for Talking Shit was our top 10 albums of all time. And if you have a topic of discussion you want us to talk some shit about for Talking Shit, you can tweet at us at baiazonagamers. You can tweet at me at Banana Lechong. You can tweet Henry at Henrysaurus. If you have any technical questions, not problems, you can tweet at our tech guy, 7 Morris, but the O in Morris is a 0.
Yeah.
What a fucking ride, man.
Music's important.
Yeah.
I like Weezer.
Get the fuck out of here. And what did you think of our top 10 and our top 5 specifically for this video? You can comment below. You can share what some of your favorite albums are. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can check out our other shows. We've got quick reviews up every Monday. We've got Let's Plays up every Friday. Talking Shit goes up every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, man, I'm fucking exhausted. It's time to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, have a great day full of Lord's Pure Heroin and shit talking. Thank you.